Hey, what's up everybody? It's another great week of SR Synth Weekly. I am, of course, your Synth Redneck, and we got a lot of stuff today. I got some great music, I got a lot of different little ditties going around. It could actually work as one movie, but I got some great artists today and some great vocal artists today too. So let's just get started and have some fun. First up, we have Mind Machine. It's a synth pop group out of Los Angeles. The song today that they've sent me is Clouds of Doubt. It's a fused sacred remix. I'm not really sure what that means, but what it is, it's from their first album in 24 years. It's actually a new album that got released coming out in July. So definitely check that out. This kind of gives me usually I do movies to start out with, but this one kind of gives me a more vibe of Solitary Experiment and V&V Nations kind of vibe. If you ever heard those music, it's kind of got that voice, that deep voice that goes with it. Good vocals mixed with a good synth background. That's what I want to start out with, this group could fit into any out of line music. If you've ever heard of Out of Line Music, they're a great record company and they do a lot of stuff, Blue Dangle and stuff like that. They would fit perfectly with that record label. So anybody from Out of Line, sign them. But also kind of gives me, in my normal way of thinking, it kind of gives me of a title sequence of kind of like a gothy type crime story. And I don't mean like Gothic era. I mean like everybody's kind of dark in a kind of like a dark world kind of thing. It's kind of like it's like also kind of like the main anti-hero's main theme. It's the main is like a vampire cop, kind of like Forever Knight kind of deal. But he's a vampire or other underworld trying to figure out who they are internally, as they internally they're trying to figure out who they are, what they want to do, who are they really supposed to be? Are they good? Are they evil? But outward, outside, the face outside, they're showing that they're a strong person, while internally they're fighting themselves. It also kind of gives me that, and the main hero is sitting alone in the darkness, thinking about the future and how he will win against whatever his own demons or a demon outside. And while he's watching the world around him. It also, on that same note, it kind of gives me that feel, when he's watching the world around him, he don't know if he can make it or not, and outward presence, he gives it. Inwardly, he's just fighting his own personal self. That's kind of what it gives me. Finally, kind of gives me that he's watching like his group, his other group. He's just sitting there watching them. They're getting ready they're getting ready to fight something, and he's got a secret, and he doesn't want to tell them yet, even though they're getting ready to fight something or work on a solution, and he has a secret, but he doesn't want to tell. Kind of gives me that vibe, but it's a really great song. I mean, it works on so many levels, especially in a darker sense, darker movie sense. So definitely check it out, and like I said, check out all the rest of the music. It's really awesome. The song today is Mind Machine, and it's Clouds of Doubt. like I said, it's a great song, and it just gives you that whole darkness kind of feel. I kind of like the loner, you know, trying to figure out internally who he is. So definitely check that out. Check out the rest of the music. It's all awesome. Next up today, we have, I'm going to screw this up. I already know I am. It's LuminAnthem. And the song they got today, it's called Vitals. They're a synth indie rock group out of Jamestown, New York. It's a really good anthem kind of feel for a, you know, kind of like an action comedy feel. I went that way because it just kind of gives me that, vibe that I, you know, kind of like I'm drawing a blank on movie titles today. It just kind of gives you that action, adventure, you know, comedy feel, you know, high school or college kind of deal. It's like the main, here's what I put. It's like the main and the friends are walking away from the scene. They've prevailed from the main story and walking in credits, and you see them laughing, kind of cutting up as they're, you know, all together, and it just kind of gives that feel. Also kind of gives me on that same thing on the, you know, the main group as seen toward the beginning of the movie, and they're giving their expositions as they're getting together. You know, each person has their exposition as they gather together. You know, you see them starting their day or something, whatever they're doing, and then they finally get together, and you start seeing them have fun together and just being together after the exposition, right before the main storyline happens. Also, kind of on that same token, after they get all that, and it's also like the main climax when they're fighting and defeats the main baddie of the movie. The way the whole song progresses, it kind of gives me that feel. The main baddie of the movie, and they're all celebrating. And again, as they start walking off into the as the song ends, you know, they start walking off together, happy, and like kind of the outro. I just thought of something. You could actually kind of like Real Geniuses. That song would work in this. The Val Kilmer movie. You know, the main outro of the movie where they're all walking and eating the popcorn and playing around. That would work on this song. This song would work perfectly for that. So definitely check it out. Like I said, always check it out. Check out all their other stuff. And today's song is Vitals by LuminAnthem. like I said, it kind of gives me that, outro feel. Everybody's leaving and, they're all just having a great time, and it goes right into the credit sequence, of them after beating everything. So that's kind of my vibe on it. Like I said, check it out and make sure you don't follow all their stuff. Next up, we have ALVONMARS. I'm going to screw it up completely. The song today is called When Darkness Falls. If it sounds kind of familiar, if the music sounds kind of familiar of somebody else I played, they used to be called No Healer. He just did a kind of a rebrand. So if definitely check it out and check out their other stuff too as No Healer if he hasn't changed it. I haven't checked as time of taping this. The song today is called When Darkness Falls. This kind of gives me that vibe. This is a thriller cop movie vibe. This is kind of like the main cop is, he first shows up on the scene and he's chasing the main bad guy through, a building or warehouse. You see them doing the whole shootout where they're hiding. Excuse me. He's searching for the boss, kind of like they're hiding and fighting each other, but, he's got to find the boss and weave through everything and get through all the bad guys. That's kind of what it gives me. Also kind of gives me that, he's searching for answers to a crime wave. Who's behind it, who the boss is, and he's just trying to find the answers of, all the stuff that's happening and going on around that's causing the crime wave and why is it happening and who's doing it. Kind of like that whodunit kind of feel. On a different note, though, it also kind of gives me that it's a sci-fi kind of where the main group is searching through old programs and hacks to get answers to save the person or world, kind of like they're hacking, searching the databases of a company, of a corporation, that's already said they're going to take over the world, and they're trying to find the answers of why and how to stop it. All of those kind of work. You could actually put that all in one movie, a cop sci-fi tech movie, and that song would work perfectly. So it's definitely a good song. Check it out, and make sure you follow them on all their media as always. The group today is ALVONMARS, and the song is called When Darkness Falls. like I said, it just gives me that feel of the cop thriller, you know, deal. He's running through the warehouse deal. So, let me know what you think in the comments. Everybody has their own little movie or whatever feel that they think. I'd love to see your opinion on it. Just let me know what you think in the comments. Next up today we have Simon Jones. He's a synth electro, you know, synthwave electronic. He does a little everything. He's based out of Ireland. The song today he's got is called Churches. Let me read his description. It says, high energy synthwave instrumental with cinematic moments. It's from his recent album, Underworld. I think that's how it's pronounced. This is, I kind of went with it. Kind of went to, since the name is Churches, I kind of went searching in my head and searching online for some like church type movies. This kind of gives me more of a, I'm gonna go with a church sci-fi anime on this. It kind of gives me like the main title sequence of a church is the law, you know, and their group, kind of like priest and, you know, whatever, priest or preachers are going after, you know, creatures that are creatures of the night, and there's, you know, trying to save the world from it. And this is, you know, they're like the holy warriors against like the creatures and trying to save the world. Also kind of gives me that main priest are showing using, you know, kind of like they're using their powers. They're mixing magic, you know, kind of like magic and technology together. They're using, you know, the devices, and you see them going through and just fighting evil creatures. And about mid-song, it's showing them exorcise all the evil that's been destroyed. They're exorcising the souls of the people they've taken over or possessed, kind of like that. Also kind of gives me like also another type of sci-fi where the heroes is a montage of them searching for answers. They're searching for answers while they're, you know, going through and just destroying all these evil groups, you know, like little clans here and there. And while they're trying to find out who's really running this show and who the main evil boss is that hasn't been shown up yet. And they're trying to search for the main boss. And, you know, that's just the whole montage of them going through every clan and, you know, cleansing it is the best way to describe. Cleansing, you know, the bad areas to save the people. Kind of gives me that vibe. I went with that just because of the name, and you know, just there's a lot of movies like that, and this song would fit in that perfectly. So, but like I said, let me know what you think in the comments. The song is, I'm sorry, the group is Simon Jones, and the song is called Churches. like I said, it kind of works just because I put that, you know, I like to name churches and, I'm sorry, church. And I don't know, I just kind of, it works for what I was mapping out in the story. So I think it kind of works. But let me know what you think in the comments. And like I said, follow them and like all their stuff. Next up, I'm going to screw this name up, and I apologize if it's wrong. It's OMEGAGON. You can check the wording down there. The song is called Forces of Darkness. This group is out of Norwich, United Kingdom, and they're kind of they mix between synthwave and cyberpunk. It's a really good song. Forces of Darkness gives me that feeling. Well, like it says, it's Forces of Darkness. Kind of gives me the evil group has devastated the land. It's showing the hordes of creatures just, you know, taking over the areas. They're fast, they're quick, they're, you know, they're just rampaging the areas, terrorizing everybody and all the people. And then we see, as that's happening, we see like the main evil, you know, coming over the ridge and just staring down at the people and just terrorizing them. And he's showing his, you know, he's showing that he is the supreme power to the survivors, and you know, it's just he's the main baddie, and you know it. That's the theme. That's what it feels like. Also, kind of show on that same note, it kind of feels like about mid-song. Hero shows up after this devastation and starts to get revenge. He starts, you know, hunting the hordes that were devastating. You know, like the last song, he's hunting the clans and different hordes that have been hiding, you know, or devastating other groups. And he's just going through there, and he's getting the revenge for the people to save it. Kind of gives that about mid-song too, using that whole section. Kind of about mid-song, the evil boss and the hero meet for the first time on the first fight. You know, like most movies do, they have a first fight, and the evil boss just beats him, and you know, as he's being beaten, he escapes, and you know, he runs off to he retreats to, you know, recoup on what he needs to do to be able to fight the evil again. I like that. That's the kind of vibe it kind of build up to, you know, the evil's devastation, to the, you know, to the revenge, to the first meeting, and then towards the end of the song, he's taking off to retreat until he can figure out how to defeat the boss. Kind of gives me that whole vibe the whole song through. So check it out. Really good song. It's OMEGAGON, and it's Forces of Darkness.
I'm old beyond my years. My life has been blighted, twisted out of shape by the forces of darkness. forces of darkness. Forces of darkness.
It just builds up, doesn't it? I mean, I like that whole build up and then, you know, first meeting kind of deal. But like I said, check it out. It's really awesome. And make sure you, like I always say, make sure you follow them on their social media and, you know, buy their stuff because, you know, without the fans, you know, we just write for ourselves. Next up is a really awesome song, and it's by two guys I've played before. It's Neon Arcadia featuring Tom Selica. Really great song. The song is called Cruise Control. This is your fanfare for a synthwave, you know that retro 80s feel. The vocals, the whole synth deal. It's just really awesome. This one gives me a different feel than my normal. You know, I usually do sci-fi, horror, and all that other stuff. This gives me that coming of age feel, and what I mean is it's one of those, you know, it's the main character is like a teen or a college guy, and he's going to a dance or a prom, and you see him getting ready. You know, about the song, you see them getting ready, the lover and him getting together, and you see them, you know, he finally sees he's meeting his lover and the love interest into the, you know, club or prom, depending on what storyline you're going with. You see them finally getting close, and they realize that they finally realize that they're meant for each other. It kind of gives me that, you know, they locked eyes, you know, from a distance in the room, and they finally realize that they're meant for each other, and they know it, and they finally get together. Also, excuse me. Using the name Cruise Control also gave me that feel of the main hero and the lover riding through, you know, the streets together. It kind of gives me that kind of like montage where they're riding through the streets together and just being, after being saved and being together and just full of each other. It's kind of like, and then the slow part, you know, they're staring at each other's eyes, you know, that kind of like sitting on the car or in the back or in the seat together. And they show their love for each other. And then she takes off. And what I mean by take off, I mean by like, she like, you know, grabs his keys and they run off together, and, you know, they're just having a good time. Excuse me. And, you know, they take off again, riding around right before the climax of the movie. Just gives me that vibe. It just gives me that whole, you know, cruise love montage deal that you see in like a lot of, you know, their 80s movies, you know, where everybody's just, well, the two lovers, you know they're in love and you know they're going, you know, that they're meant to be together. That whole song just gives me that whole feel. It's really awesome. So definitely check both of them out. Make sure you check out Neon Arcadia and Tom Selica. Both great artists, and they're really, really great bands. So here it is. It's Neon Arcadia featuring Tom Selica, and the song is called Cruise Control.
Three, two, one, go!
I mean, if you don't think this is synthwave or, you know, that 80s vibe, it doesn't give you that 80s vibe or, you know, made and retro feel, I don't know what to tell you. That's the epitome of, you know, that 80s vibe that you can, that's out there. So definitely check them out. All their music's really awesome like that. So make sure you follow them and give them make sure you follow them on their social media. Last up today, I'm going to do a little different. I'm going to end today with an indie pop song. Because this song is just really awesome, and the vocals on it is just beyond beautiful. So this is just a great song to end with today. The group is, the artist today is Krystal Brown. She's out of Norfolk, Virginia. The song today is called We Don't Deserve You. And it's a dance pop song, as she puts, celebrating the beauty of human-animal relationships. I took that on as... I put that literal because the song is so beautiful and it works in what I'm about to say. And I hope she doesn't. I hope her opinion is about the same. I'm gonna go with a kind of like an animal show, kind of like Dodo. If you've seen the Dodo rescue videos, they're really beautiful videos with humans and animals. It's also because I'm a huge pug fan. I grew up with pugs. I went with Milo and Otis too. I thought Milo and Otis because it's my favorite movie of that type genre, and it kind of gives me them just frolicking through the fields together. Milo and Otis are best friends and they're frolicking through the field. On that movie's fan, that kind of gives me that feel that they don't deserve each other, but they're there for each other. Also, it kind of gives me a reason I said Dodo, because this song works perfectly for what my mindset, my opinion and my mindset. If you've seen like the Dodo videos, a rescue video, the animals in a really bad place, and they've been rescued, and this song works as they're getting their entire transformation from being emaciated, or their hair was matted, and they were just in a bad place, and it gives you that whole transformation of and back to I want to say normal, but they're back to normal size, normal type animal, and then you start seeing them showing the love for the human, and the human shows the love back for them. And as her song goes back on, we don't deserve you, because as being rescued, we don't deserve the fact that they love us, even though we let them go like that. That's the feel that I got, is that they're being rescued and they're finally happy. And then towards about mid-song, you finally get to see them happy with their new families. They're just happy, loving, and it just makes you just want to grab your animals and hold them tight. And towards the end of the song, you see that whole the animal is just laying on their lap or thing, and they're just happy. That's the vibe I got from this, and that's where I went with it. The voice is beautiful, so I mean that works on so many levels, but that's what I went with. So the opinion may be different, but I just felt that as essentially the animal-human relationships, and it just gives me that vibe. So definitely check it out, and check out the rest of the music. It's really awesome. Beautiful voice. And we're going to end today with Krystal and We Don't Deserve You. I'm a big animal lover, so that just kind of works. You know, it kind of gives me that rescue feel. That whole song and her beautiful voice just gives me that, you know, that rescue feel. So definitely check it out and check out the rest of her works because it's really awesome. That's it for this week. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I try to produce music I try to do a show every week, and it comes out on Tuesday. If you like this channel and you just found it, please like and subscribe. And make sure you hit that notification bell. That way you'll be notified when the new episodes come out. And as always, follow everybody on their social media accounts. I post them all down below. And, you know, just make sure you follow them, check out the rest of their music, and check out their sites because they have other things, you know, not just music, but some have their own artwork and stuff like that. And, you know, some of them have their own YouTube channels and stuff like that. And, they, you know, they deserve your views. But I hope everybody has a great week. It's a brisk summer day here where I'm at. So I hope everybody is having a great week and has great vacations. You'll have a great one. I'll see y'all next week. Bye.